Welcome, everybody. It is another edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, Rock and Roll Matty Goldberg. Boys, oh, so much going on.
Playoff football.
So much, man. I mean, playoff. The thing is, after we, the next day after we recorded last week, nothing but news came out. All these coaches.
Yeah. Literally like the day after we recorded.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck. We should, because a lot of times what happens is if we have to push the show back a day or two, all this news will break and we win with that, but not last.
I think the sports news cycle goes so fast, you can't beat the news cycle of like who's fired.
Well, this was
a huge week.
News, though, dude. We had Saban retiring, Belichick out of there. Pete Carroll's finished. I mean,
Belichick.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, Belichick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts, bro.
And we might have more. I mean, we'll see what happens to Mike McCarthy.
The dominoes will fall.
I think he should get another chance.
I agree. I 100% think he should get another chance because fuck the Cowboys.
Also, we got to talk about Tua. We got to talk about Tua. I mean, where do you want to start?
Let's where do we go in here? Let's go with something recent. Bucks over the Eagles last night.
Yeah.
How was that? Is Sirianni done?
I was going to say
wild too.
What's that?
I've never seen like usually when you make it to the Super Bowl, win or lose, you get like a year mulligan. Like if you have a really bad year, you get a mulligan. And he was 10-1. The team obviously quit. I've never seen a slide where you were 10-1 and you probably were the worst team in football by the end of the season. I don't know if they all quit. I don't know I think one of the big things was when he switched Matt Patricia to the defensive coordinator. I think that rubbed players the wrong way. They didn't tackle last night. Like the effort was F, and that's on the coaching and
yeah.
Those Eagles fans are psycho, and that they want Sirianni gone. They want everybody gone. It's like he didn't make it to the Super Bowl last year. Granted, he had really good OC and DC, but
so that's my thing with Sirianni. Yeah. I think he could stay. He could save his job. He's got to they got to get rid of the OC and DC they got now. And he's got to nail the hires.
But there's no guarantee you're going to nail the hires.
I know. That's just the thing. Like, he has to get those hires good because I don't think Sirianni's some genius coach.
No, he's not.
He's like a decent overhead running the show.
Keeping everything. How old is he? He looks like a guy you'd see at the bar.
Well, he's 40. He's from Jamestown, New York, which is funny because my buddy Dave Caston lived there, and all he ever talked about what a shithole Jamestown was. It's like up by Buffalo, and it's just a real rundown city. And he just they also say there was bad karma after the Chiefs game. He was yelling at the Chiefs fans. And it's just weird how everything just unraveled. They had this hot streak, and they were, like I said, 10-1. And you just see things like guys not playing hard. A.J. Brown quit on the team. There's talk about is Jalen Hurts the guy, which I think is unfair to him. I think he was playing hurt at the end of the year.
I also think a lot of it, the offensive scheme was basic, and by the end of the year, everyone was calling out the offensive scheme as being just terrible.
Yeah, and again, it's like when you see guys not tackling, you go, that's a team that gave up.
The defense last night, I think there was they had 100 Bucks had 150 yards after the catch.
The Bucks scored 6 points against the Panthers in a must game the week before. This is for the Lions, you can't ask for. I mean, look, playoff.
The Lions were in a win-win spot,
but you can't ask for a better opponent either team next week. It's like that. Look, you lose, but
right.
Green Bay is hot. Jordan Love is fucking hot. He's turning into the real deal. You're lucking the fuck out. It sucks for the 49ers.
It is funny because I'm sitting there oh man, maybe we could catch that 2 seed, but then we would, because I didn't want to play the Rams just for personal reasons. But then they fucking totally lost.
Now they're in a much better position.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
But yeah, I don't know what I mean, the Eagles, like, we'll see how deep they go. But like again, Sirianni can keep his job, but there's no guarantee he's gonna nail the OC and the DC because how often does that happen?
I don't
And
know,
then,
but like, yeah, you can't be totally contingent on. I always thought Nick Saban, he always did much better when he had
yeah,
a great OC.
sure. Look at the
But even
Bills.
even the years he didn't, the team
He'd
would
still at
still
least
win
win
like
10
13
games.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like nuts.
Look
So,
at the Bills. The Bills were 6-6. The offense was shitty. They were just doing dumb shit. They were relying too much, I think, on Stephon Diggs and not the run game, not running with Josh Allen. And then Joe Brady came in and they put up, I think, 30 points almost
yeah.
every game. And they're in a sweet spot right now. I mean, they had a 5% chance to make the playoffs when they were 6-6.
But that's like such a baller move from McDermott to fire someone mid-season and bring in like a known guy,
They had to.
and then he had actually paid.
Yeah.
I swear I've never seen that before. Have you seen
Well,
that with a
he
coordinator
had to
coming, a new
because yeah,
coordinator
his
coming in
job
and
was
doing
pretty
that?
much on the line. Like
Yeah.
it becomes your job is on the line.
Yeah.
So when your job is on the line, a lot of guys will go down with their guys and they're like loyal. But sometimes you go, I can't go down with this guy. He's gonna get me fired. You got to throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And, if they don't make the playoffs, he gets fired because they
How
have
many
way too
years
much talent.
for Sirianni? How many years do you give a guy in the NFL?
Well, you give him an extra year if he makes the championship. That's the problem. But
Because I thought he'd been there. I thought he'd been there longer. He's only been there 3 years.
3 years. He's
which
got
is
So he's
3
been in the
crazy.
playoff
playoffs
appearances.
every year.
Yeah.
Went
So
to the Super Bowl last year.
Lost in the first round his first year. Super Bowl year 2. Lost in the first round this year.
That's not bad.
He's got a 34-17 regular season record.
The problem was the way they collapsed this year. Like it was just, and it's a very, very tough fan base, and they don't have a lot of patience. They're a tough fan base, and to just see it just collapse like this, I think it's very hard because you're like, we were 10-1. We were beating
the Eagles
everybody.
are cementing themselves as an organization that falls apart after a Super Bowl appearance. Peterson was out shortly after, a couple of years after.
That's
the
true.
Super Bowl too. So I don't know. All right, let's talk some other shit. We got Bills Steelers. I think that was very predictable.
I think that's the one that everyone saw coming. It played out exactly like I
Right.
expected.
Yeah, it wasn't much of the
Steelers are starting to be one of those like limbo teams because Tomlin keeps them competitive and in it, but they don't seem to have a quarterback that can take them to the next level. So I'm not sure what they're going to do because Tomlin is staying on. But what do you guys?
What year do you guys think was the Steelers' last playoff win?
Gosh, 5 years ago,
2016.
Oh boy,
he has not won a playoff game since 2016.
So that's going on 8 years now.
Yeah,
so that's bad.
Like he never has a losing record. He's a good coach. I feel like for the Steelers, the postseason has to be like a big product of that.
True.
Because I remember at least like as a kid through like the 2000s, early 2010s, they were always in for like the AFC Championship discussions, like every year consistently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're always around. They just can't finish the job.
Well, we'll see what they do. They got to make some changes. Otherwise, this is going to be just a thing that happens every fucking year.
I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback.
What's that?
I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback.
I don't mind Mason Rudolph. I mean, they can do better, but I don't believe in Pickett.
As much as a Pickett fanboy as I am, I don't think he's the guy.
No, he's not. He's too frail.
100%.
Yep.
All right. We alluded to the Cowboys earlier. That team looks so fucking good early on in the year.
They look good at home.
And the Packers look like shit early on in the year.
I mean, they look good at home, but they had some holes, and I think really like watching them play at Buffalo. you saw how much better Buffalo was than them.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of holes, and as soon as they got punched in the mouth, they had nothing. I mean, as soon as Green Bay scored that first touchdown, you just felt like they were like, "Oh shit, we're in a game, and we don't want to deal with this." And yeah,
I hate that we could like pencil in Jordan Love for a Super Bowl in his career, at least one.
he's good. I mean, you got to give Green Bay's credit for the drafting. I've never seen 3 quarterbacks, special franchise quarterbacks, drafted in a row. I mean, that's
Have you seen
insane.
enough from Jordan Love, or you really think he's
Yeah, I
all
have.
that? And okay,
No, he's the real deal.
I think he's like a top 15, top 10 quarterback in the league.
He's a top 10 by far, and
Yeah.
the way he throws on his back foot, he's got a cannon. He was hitting guys like 35 yards down the field on his back foot. You can't teach that.
yeah,
There's only a couple guys that can do that. He is the real deal, and he got better as the season went along. Like, he kept getting better, and there's something about, like, hey, you don't got to start these guys year one. Like, they can sit and learn. I mean, yeah, there's C.J. Stroud, but there's also Zach Wilson. There's also Trey. There's guys that fail and
Sam
come right
Darnold.
out of
There's
the back.
a
Yeah,
million guys.
I mean, like
Million.
even like Bryce Young hasn't been looking good. We still don't know about him.
And when you ask, like, was this Dallas's incompetence or Green Bay is a good hot team? I think it's a combination. I think Green Bay is getting better, and Dallas isn't really built for the playoffs. They're kind of soft, and they showed how soft they were.
Yeah, the Dallas defense, especially.
See,
that was supposed to be like this big ass bad defense, just looked awful.
And that
was the most surprising part of that. What happened? Because they're like, everyone's like, "Now Dan Quinn's going to get another head coaching job somewhere."
How?
Now it's like, I don't know.
How can you hire him?
I mean, if you base it on the first 8 games or whatever, you could, but then now it's like, what the hell?
I mean, this is crunch time. This is where it matters. This is where like you're not remembered for your 3 12-5 seasons. You're remembered for what you did in the playoffs, 1 and 3, and then this one just absolutely getting fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
Like beat up.
I have another fun fact for this game.
Yeah.
So everyone was talking about like the Cowboys hadn't lost at home all year. I didn't realize the Packers have never lost at AT&T Stadium.
That's pretty impressive.
Wow, they own Jerry World.
That's including a Super Bowl they played.
How
against
many
the
games
Steelers.
is there? How many?
I'm trying to look right now.
All right.
I mean, they have their number in the playoffs, going back to the Ice Bowl, a couple of those Aaron Rodgers games where he pulled shit out of his ass.
So I guess this was the 4th time because the Cowboys haven't always played in AT&T, but that's actually they have more playoff wins in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys.
That's very funny.
There's all rumors about let's go get Belichick. I don't know if Belichick's the answer, but I know Mike McCarthy's not the answer.
I don't know if someone like Belichick would want to work for someone like Jerry Jones, who like Jerry Jones seems to be so in control of everything.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to be the guy that gets the Cowboys over the hump?
Yeah, but I think
nobody's been able to get him over the hump.
But I think Jerry Jones would take all the credit.
I think they got enough pieces that would work in Belichick's favor. If you can have a defense playing at that caliber at some point in the year, then Belichick can get them playing like that through the year.
And now you got to ask yourself about Dak. Is he the guy? I was thinking of a weird trade with Dak and Tua, like 2 guys that might need to
swap them.
Yeah, maybe give Miami or maybe give Dallas a little more because Dak is a better quarterback. But like both of those guys could use a change of scenery. I was really disappointed in Tua this weekend. I know the weather sucked.
I got exactly what I expected.
But it was 6. It wasn't this game. It was 6 fucking terrible weeks in a row of not getting the job done.
What are you hearing about Tua?
It sounds like the Dolphins like him. I mean, they're in a weird spot. Like, so this is like he's going to get signed to a contract this coming year. This is like a big decision. And what do you do? Like, do you trade up in the draft to get one of these guys? Do you trade? Like, who do you trade for? Like, I don't know who I would trade for realistically.
But the problem is, like, with quarterbacks, Tua is decent, but
Tua is the Hawaiian Kirk Cousins.
You can get 3 quarterbacks who suck in a row who can't pull it off,
Exactly.
If you let Tua go, it's a hard one because there's more guys that bust than that are good. For every CJ Strouds, there's 10 Zach Wilsons.
If the Dolphins trade Tua to somebody, I would assume if they go for the draft, I don't know who I'd love in the draft. Like maybe Drake May.
What about Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams has a lot of similar issues to Tua, just height wise. But the thing Caleb Williams has that Tua so far in the pros has shown he doesn't have. Caleb Williams does have that weird it factor of like I feel like he could be clutch. He's got like that weird magic stuff to him.
I don't think Kyler Murray.
See, that's the other one. Like Kyler Murray would be an option.
Yeah,
he has the height.
I think they're back on. I think the Cardinals are back on Kyler.
I think they're also back on him. Like he'd be one that I'd be okay with. There's a lot of quarterbacks that I don't think I'd rather have than Tua, though. Is the thing. It's a weird spot to be in. No, because Tua is basically crazy. No. Kirk Cousins is what 36.
Tua stinks.
I got a bargain
for you. Kirk Cousins is what 36 years old.
Tua stinks.
Kirk Cousins stinks.
As soon as Tyreek Hill leaves the game, you're like, it's gone. He had so many fucking weapons.
And
you give a quarterback, Jalen Waddle. You give him Tyreek Hill. You give him 2 really good running backs in Moser and A-Chain. And for what Tua did is garbage.
You're the NFL passing leader?
He should have been. They gave him weapons galore. Patrick Mahomes the fun stat guys.
The fun stat about that one, apparently won a Super Bowl, but the fun stat about that is I didn't realize the NFL like regular season passing yards leader has never won a Super Bowl.
Well, it just shows that stats overrated, but
that probably means you're playing from behind a lot.
Too. I think that yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you a solution, and it's a bargain deal. Draft JJ McCarthy because you can get him. He'll be on the board.
Oh, he'll be like a second rounder or third rounder.
Right. Pick him up, put him on the bench, let him compete. I'm telling you, that kid is going to grow.
You know what? He's got the intangibles. He's got like the physical stuff for it. So you know what? I wouldn't hate it.
And at Michigan, he had to work with receivers that were usually very well covered too. Like. It wasn't like at Ohio State where these guys have 3-yard separations between them. Like
I wouldn't. You know what?
If we get him later, manager right now.
If we get him later, I'd be cool with it. Because I bet there's going to be a lot of people that go crazy for him because he has all the physical traits that you want out of a quarterback. Because he can sling it.
Yeah, he's a great leader, and
but I
can't wait for his combine.
Anyway, sorry.
I'm really down on Tua, and it's not about even the playoff game. It's about all the games leading up. And I remember when they were against Buffalo down by 7, I was like, there's no way he's going to score. He just doesn't have it in him. He doesn't have that clutch gene.
He is the Hawaiian Kirk Cousins, Matty.
Yeah. I think Kirk Cousins is better, but
I disagree.
Well, talk to me when he finally wins a playoff game. Not that Kirk Cousins has won many. I think he's only won
well,
one.
How are you feeling about the Chiefs after that game, though?
You can't go by it because Miami was so bad. They didn't show up. But
wow,
he's right. Like they didn't show
play
up.
Well is a big deal because Patrick Mahomes now feels like he has somebody he can depend on besides Kelsey. So Rashard Rice getting better is scary.
I gotta favor the Bills though.
Yeah, the Bills are favored by 3, and I'm rooting big for the Bills. I want the Bills to win, but as long as Patrick Mahomes is playing, the Chiefs are always going to be scary, and their defense has been very good.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think Jackson Mahomes is going to be wearing for the game?
He'll be wearing like a big Puff Daddy jacket.
Yeah,
big red puff jacket.
Is he TikToking again now that he's
of course
a free man?
I see him in the booth with T Swift and Brittany.
I can't wait till he tries to tongue kiss T Swift after a shot of Patron. Gets that courage up. That's gonna be great.
Yeah,
all right. Cool. We also had the Texans thumping the Browns, thumping them boys. A lot of people thought the Browns could get carried a little far on that defense. Got shredded.
They sure did.
That was crazy to me.
They were bad on defense on the road, though. Like, that's one of the things I saw this year. I was a little shocked by the game, but if you look at their numbers, their offensive, their defense at home is one of the best I've ever seen. But on the road, they do get shredded, and it was the C.J. Stroud show. Like he came out, D'Amico Ryans had his rookie coach of the year, maybe coach of the year. I mean, one year they turned that shit around, man. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, you go from a top 3 pick to a divisional game. I mean, that's insane.
You got Ohio State, Michigan combination, quarterback, wide receiver.
I'm glad to see Nico Collins. He's very talented, but he's never had a great quarterback, unfortunately. No,
well, now he sure
Patterson,
does.
But
yeah,
now he does. So
he's turning into a superstar.
Yeah, go for it, Nico. And of course, my Lions beating my Rams.
I think that was the best game.
You think so?
Yeah, it was thrilling.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, it wasn't like a top 10 playoff game of all time, but it was, I was rooting hard for the Lions, and it was like, you just felt like every fucking play in the second half meant something.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be a blowout early on. The Lions just marched down 3 straight times and scored, and then they went stagnant for a while. But I don't know. I still don't think they have the defense to really contend this year, unfortunately. But I think they got a puncher's chance.
They're in a great spot because the second game you win, you get confidence. You go, hey man, we're the underdog. If we play the 49ers, just let it rip. And if they play the Packers, they get a home game. And I wouldn't sell the Packers or Houston like. Those two teams are legit. If you're Baltimore and you're San Francisco and you think it's going to be a cakewalk, you got another thing coming because they're playing with house money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And Jim, congratulations. Now the Dolphins are the longest without a playoff win.
Yes, they are.
It's crazy too. It's like we like Mike McDaniel, but like he's got to make a decision because his job depends on Tua. Like if Tua does this next year, he's going to lose his job. And you got to make a tough decision. Like if you can find somebody better with all these weapons, fucking find somebody. Don't lose your job over Tua not being able to play.
Would have been real sick if we were in the running for Lamar. If that would have been like, I don't think he was ever going to leave Baltimore, but I had hopes.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Okay, so let's get back to those coaches, all of these historic coaches. Sure. I'll start with Nick Saban retiring. We will never see anything like him again.
No.
For different reasons.
So do you think he quit just because he was like, the NIL is so ridiculous, I don't want to be a part of this anymore? Or he was 71 and he's like, it's time to...
It's probably a combination. I think, he was in this perfect era where he could weaponize recruiting, and there was no portal, there was no NIL. So you could recruit like deep. Your second and third string could be better than, than the next, a top 15 team or something like that. It's insane.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we've never seen this before where you're watching like guys on Alabama. You're like, oh, he played for Georgia 2 years ago. And you're like, what?
Right.
Like, when are we going to see Ohio State, Michigan guys? We're going to
you'll see it. You'll see it.
I know.
Well, there's already the Bama center already transferred to Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, he
guy who couldn't snap the fucking ball.
He should be, Michigan should send him a scholarship.
Yeah, they did the Vince McMahon meme of like when your rival gets a center who can't snap, gets
you're fired.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah, it was really good. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be weird without Saban. I think he did pick a nice time to leave because it cements his legacy, even not like it was ever going anywhere, but just the fact that, in a more competitive landscape as far as player commitment goes, he might not have had that kind of success going forward. So we'll see what goes on.
Well, you think he'll join Pat McAfee's staff?
He's sticking around with Alabama. I think he's getting an office at the school, and he's like still sticking around somewhat.
Well, I guess he really liked DeBoer.
if you're DeBoer, do you even want that? It's like, holy shit.
It depends how he would do it. Like if Saban kind of still like is kind of like bridging the gap somewhat and like getting a lot of the boosters to buy in, because Alabama's going to have to do a lot with NIL, because as good as they are, they don't have the NIL right now of like a team like Texas, Georgia, but they haven't had to because they've had the Saban factor of being like, hey, look if you come play for me, you have this much percentage shot of playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now they don't have that. They got to boost up that NIL, boost up their recruiting. And DeBoer's not known, as good as a coach as DeBoer is, he's not the best recruiter.
Sure.
The other thing too is, you go, Luke.
No, go ahead, Matty.
I was just gonna say, like, he's from South Dakota. Most of his staff is from South Dakota. Like, you're coming to a whole different planet. Like, these people, like Washington is intense, but you're dealing with the capital intensity of college football, where you lose, they put for sale signs on your front lawn. Like, this is crazy pressure.
I guess Saban was from West Virginia, but before Bama, did he really have any, like before his LSU stuff, did he ever have any experience like coaching in the South?
Probably not. He coached Michigan State.
He was
Browns.
Yeah.
Probably not. So this is surprising because, like, you're a Midwest guy and you did well in the Pacific Northwest, and you're going to like the South. Like, I would be intimidated.
What are your thoughts on Kalen DeBoer? Like, he's a mysterious guy. I was kind of getting on some of the
but he's not a yell. He is not a yell guy.
The UW, subs are all like, this guy. The Fresno State warned us. He was just a mercenary. Like he was just always shooting for a better job, essentially.
Well, who isn't, right?
I know, I understand, but it's like, I don't know. I think people like to believe in that collegiate loyalty thing. But
I get
the players don't. Why they're the coaches?
Yeah,
I get that. And Washington is a good job. I'm not gonna say Washington's not a good job. It's not Alabama.
No,
like Bama's on the rings of like there's Bama, Georgia, maybe throw LSU in there as like a job opportunity for like the amount of places. Ohio State's up there. Michigan's up there. Notre Dame's up there somewhat.
Now, let me ask you this. Like, I feel like the SEC is changing. Like, you used to think of a tough defensive type, like if you're going to win, you're going to have a good defense. But now with Texas and Oklahoma,
no, that's like the Big Ten now.
Right. Yeah, that's the Big Ten now. Like with Texas, Oklahoma joining, this guy who runs a very, pass heavy offense,
especially the fact that his offensive coordinator is coming with him too, I believe.
Right, and they didn't have much of a defense at all. Like, I think Georgia's the only team I think of a throwback kind of team now with that.
Clemson, the ACC is kind of a throwback, but most of these teams are like Ole Miss is a passing team.
Yeah, no, it's all turned into like the Big 12 suddenly. They should just merge with the Big 12 to make it the bigger 12. I don't know. It's going to be interesting though. I don't think
I like the hire.
It's a great hire, I think, but I also think it's also sort of a no-win situation for this.
All right, but what coach could you get? He retires.
Sure.
Besides Lane Kiffin, maybe Sarkisian.
So it looked from what it sounded like they were trying to get. Sarkisian was on the list.
Yeah.
Dan Lanning was on the list, and Mike Norvell was on the list.
I think Lanning would have been more of a. I mean, you already seen him turn around at Oregon.
He's a big South guy too, but Lanning's buyout is like crazy at Oregon.
Okay.
It is so crazy. Sarkisian, I don't know if without Nick Saban, I don't know if Alabama's a better job than Texas.
I don't think so either. I think it's worse because you're also competing against a Saban from a different era, as we just previously discussed. So you're like going against a ghost. It's irreparable. You can't.
It's hard to.
You can win a national championship in your second year, and then year 3 they want you fired if you go 10-2.
I would never want to follow legend. I would never want to follow. I would never take that job.
No,
you got to follow Nick Saban because you're looking at 6 fucking championships.
Well, you also can't turn it down, though. You just can't turn that down.
You can't.
That's the top. It's like, the Yankees. It's just
like Gerard Mayo, who I like, and I think he's got that kind of Antonio Pierce kind of feel for the Patriots, and they'll play hard. they'll play better, but you're going against all of Belichick's legacy, and that's hard to do because they're not judging you by one Super Bowl; they're judging you by 6. And DeBoer, he can win a national title and then go 8-4, and they're going to call for his ass.
Yeah,
104-12 as a head coach.
Jesus,
who's that?
Kalen DeBoer. He's a winner.
How long has he been coaching for?
So head coaching right now, as a head coach, he coached Sioux Falls in 2005 to 2009, which is an NAIA school.
Okay.
And then basically he was at a bunch of position jobs, Southern Illinois, Eastern Michigan. He was the OC at Fresno State, OC at Indiana. Then he was the head coach at Fresno State 2020 and 2021, 2022 and 23, Washington. And now he's at Bama.
Okay.
Well,
he's 49.
Good luck.
Wow.
And now the boy Jed Fish comes in.
Yeah.
A fellow chosen one.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about people who jump around?
Oh.
This
guy got a better job.
This guy, you think he could have gotten a better job? Washington's a really good job.
Well, it's good now they're in the Big Ten.
But now they're hitting a rebuilding.
What a job! What a job!
They're losing a lot of people.
Everybody.
Yeah,
I think he should have stayed at Arizona.
Me too.
I know. It's like I'm not sure why Washington is supposed to be better than
the money. The money.
Okay. I mean, yeah, sure.
But like they were going into the Big 12. They had a realistic shot of winning the Big 12 this year and going to the playoffs.
They sure do.
Now it sucks for Arizona. Like we'll see if Brett Brennan. Well, no, I mean it depends on if Brett Brennan can keep a lot of these players from transferring. Yeah. But like he's Jed Fish. I mean, he's probably good for Washington. He's probably the best guy they could have gotten the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's going to take him a couple of years there. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he did some good quick work.
He does.
Was this his first year?
Arizona was
third.
Third.
Okay.
2021 was the first
1-10,
year.
like 4-8, and then 10-3.
It was his first head coaching job, though.
So
he'd been around forever. He was coaching at tons of places.
So he started as a GA in Florida. Then he was with the Texans. Then he was with the Ravens. Then he was with the Broncos. Then he was with Minnesota, the Gophers. Then he was with the Seahawks. Then he was with the Hurricanes, the Miami Hurricanes. Then he was with the Jaguars. Then he was with Michigan.
Yes,
the QB coach in 2015, 2016. Then he was UCLA, where he was interim for a little bit in 2017 when Mora got fired.
Yeah, okay.
Then he was with the Rams. Then he was with the Rams again. And then he was with the Patriots. And then he was with Arizona. How old do you think Jed Fish is?
47.
He's only 47. He's been he's jumped around like crazy.
He played tennis in college. That's my favorite thing about him. He's a tennis guy from Florida, a nice Jewish boy. We'll see.
I guarantee you though, for Washington, watch out. If that Florida job opens up in the next year or two, he's going to try and jump. If he's like showing any promise at Washington and Florida opens up, he will jump to Florida 100%.
Of course, Jews love Florida.
That's where he's from.
Yeah, he went to Florida to like be a GA for Spurrier. Like that's why he wanted to go to Florida.
All right.
Well, they could use a new coach. They're they're not a good situation right now. Bad year last year.
Which sucks because I like Napier.
Good. All right. We also had Belichick retiring. I mean, everybody said everything.
Well, he didn't retire.
I mean, parting ways with.
He got interviewed by Atlanta.
That's right.
Already.
He's already. I mean, do you see him picking up?
I say Dallas.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
I think if he gets a team that already has a lot of pieces, he could do something with them. I think they are a team that has those pieces. You know,
I mean, Atlanta doesn't really have a quarterback. They have a good defense. They have some interesting pieces on offense, but they have like I don't believe in Ritter or your boy Heineke. I know you love Heineke, but
great backup.
Well, yeah, he's a backup.
Yeah,
they need a great backup guy.
If you work with him, he could be.
Maybe Jameis.
Do you want Jameis just to jump around the NFC South?
I would love to see a documentary, Bill and Jameis. You know, like.
Oh, I want that now.
Yeah.
He got Cam. He could get Jameis.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Do you think any other coaches get fired, or do you think
McCarthy? I'm pretty sure is
McCarthy.
There's rumors that Mike Vrabel might step in too in Dallas.
That wouldn't be a bad get for Dallas. That'd be a pretty good get.
Because they're gonna play hard, and he's a defensive guy, and you saw that they were soft. They lost that game because they were soft as toilet paper, as they say, the kids say.
I think Dennis Allen should probably be fired. For the Saints. For the Saints.
Yeah, I'm surprised he still got a job. When the team undermines you, it probably means they don't have a lot of respect for you. And
well, that's Jameis. I mean, he's a whole different animal, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I get that they're having success now. I'm not the biggest Todd Bowles guy either for Tampa.
Well, he deserves to keep his job.
I mean, he deserves to keep his job, but like, I can see in the next like couple years, he's not there.
Detroit's got to win that game. There's no fucking excuses, Luke. You got to win that game.
No, I agree. Like that year we won a playoff game. It was a smaller pool of playoff games. So we went right to we had a bye, and then we beat Dallas and went to the NFC Championship right after that. So
I've been watching. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, but this would be like 2 playoff wins in a year would be, I don't think we've ever done that, you know, like I just don't think it's been done. So it'd be great. And there's no excuse. It's at home. It's Tampa.
Yeah.
And Tampa, who's been fighting hard, but like definitely
barely beat Carolina.
And we beat them already. So
that win for Tampa meant something though. Baker now has more playoff wins in the last like 20 years than the Browns.
Ooh. I've been watching a lot of Detroit Lions videos of their fans coming out of I mean, it was emotional. It was very emotional. Matt Stafford, by the way, was awesome. Like I believe he's a Hall of Famer.
No, earlier in the year I thought he should hang it up, and then he
guy is so classy. Like, it's such a tough place to come back. You know, like, you're the enemy now. You put 10 years where you got your ass kicked, and it's still hard to root against them. And you're just like, the way he handled it at the end, like, you will never meet a classier guy than Matt Stafford.
Did you hear what Kelly Stafford said after the game?
She was even classy.
No, she said.
Oh,
she said the crowd booed their children. Like they showed her and the children. The whole crowd booed the children.
She gets too involved. These wives, like fucking Browning's girlfriend with that stupid outfit. Like, you know, come on, man. Like,
by the way, I'm also sad to announce I think the Rams-Lions family has finally broken up because of this game. The Rams subreddit is now like, that was a low hit on Higgs. These guys, it's over. It's over, but this love affair between us.
Dude, the calls were very close, but some of the calls could have been pass interference in the second half. But I think the refs, not calling them was fine. It was close, but it wasn't absolutely blatant. And again, people are pointing out that the Rams got that pass interference call against the Saints. They're nobody to cry about the calls. It was just a very tough game, and two quarterbacks that were great, and two teams that played, it was the best game of the weekend by far. And it was just a very emotional game, and I'm glad Detroit won because it was nice to see how happy their fans were.
Yeah, no, I'm fucking thrilled. And the Rams have nothing to hang their hat on. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year, and they made it to the playoffs. And
it showed how great Stafford is, though. He is so tough because what a tough environment.
Oh yeah,
I thought when he got like knocked out of the game for a little bit, I thought like, oh my God, this is the Matt Stafford. He's gonna get like hurt and then lead the Rams to beat the Lions.
Right. No, he did the trick though. This is the trick when he was concussed. He had gang sign hands.
For sure.
And then the trick is when you go to the sideline, start limping. So then they focus on something else instead of possible concussion. So, I mean, what a cool guy. Like, you're like, hey, I'm going to get brain damage here.
If the Fish got him, the Fish could win the Super Bowl. If they stay healthy on D and they have Matt Stafford as quarterback, get him.
No, I don't think McVay's going to move on from him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
McVay was very good in the press conference too, because he was like, "Listen, I'm very happy for Jared Goff," and they treated him like dog shit. They made him the scapegoat. They did this whole thing about getting Matt Stafford and kind of just like, you got to get rid of this loser Jared Goff. I mean, people are like, oh, he's going to the Lions just so they could get rid of him in a year or two and get a real quarterback.
Right.
And then I was like, you know what? He's still young. He had a terrible Super Bowl, but he's pretty fucking good. And he is a number one pick. And like, he's not the problem. And now he's the fucking guy. He went from like, oh, they're a quarterback away to he's the franchise. And I'm happy for him because he got killed by the Patriots. He had one of the worst games of his life.
Yeah.
I think that's more on him just because nerves or whatever, but he choked and he sucked and everybody was down on him and he fucking battled back.
Yeah. No, it's always that's a great American comeback story.
It really is. Here. And he was like, this, I know everybody wants to talk about me, but this was for the Lions and their fans. And I appreciated that too. Not that I'm a Lions fan, but it's fun to root for a team that's sucked for so many years.
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice to see, and it's good for the game too.
It is.
It gives that Detroit hope now.
They got that guy who was a 66-year season ticket holder,
right?
And he thought like he was going to be on TV for 1 second, and now he's like every second.
Oh my God! Please don't make him the Sister Jean.
Yes, he is the Sister Jean.
You're gonna have opposing people saying "fuck that old man."
Yeah, but the real sports news this weekend is that Pat McAfee got canceled by both political parties.
I need a siren to go off whenever you go into your McAfee.
He goes, "We've been canceled by both political parties." How dare you fucking say that? A great actor like Jeremy Piven can't work anymore. He's canceled. Don't put your shit on that. Real fucking people like James Franco, who did real violation of women, not you, who brags about being canceled. Fucking idiot.
Nah, dude.
He's bragging about being canceled today?
Yeah, he's like,
the mainstream
we've been canceled by both political parties. Like, if you were canceled, you would be fired. John Gruden was canceled. You still have a job, you dumb idiot. Everybody's turning on him. I was the first. Admit it. Me and your boy from Detroit, Jim. We were.
You and Uncle Rico were the first two people I knew that really turned on him.
And now everybody is.
Man, it sounds like you're just jealous because you haven't been canceled.
I think I've been canceled by the Democrats, the Republicans, the Libertarians, the Scientologists, women, midgets.
I think AJ Hawk is just like high on the show all the time. He's just looking at there like a statue.
Dude, good on him.
Are you sure he's just not computer generated? Like, is
it really AI AJ Hawk?
This is him just smoking a cigar every hour. Yeah, Green Bay played really good. I'm proud of my guys. Fucking idiot. Fuck you, McAfee, with your fucking shorts. You started this with us football fans when you started kissing Taylor Swift's ass. That was the beginning of the end.
That was it.
And you made all your guys go like, we love Swifties here. And you made them all sit there and go, yeah, Swifties. Fucking
guys, like, you ever get together with your bros and watch some football? Like, have the buddies over?
God, this is great. T Swift is on every second. And I'm so happy that all these 15-year-old girls that never watch football is into it because she's dating Travis Kelce. Thank God for that. And we get to see her dance in the press box with Patrick Mahomes' disgusting wife. Yeah, I said it.
That's fair.
Clip it.
Wow.
Cancel Matty Goldberg.
Yeah. I'm going to be canceled by the Chiefs.
I want to be canceled by Pat McAfee.
No, and you're going to be forced to listen to podcasts with Kelly Stafford and Brittany Mahomes.
Oh, even Kelly Stafford has opinions that Pat McAfee doesn't. Even she raises her voice and has takes. She's not a fucking fence sitter.
But you think that ESPN should go after Kelly Stafford next?
Look, anybody's better than Pat McAfee. He's being exposed for being a moron. He's being exposed for saying nothing and acting like he does because he wears jorts and cut off sleeves and yells.
Been canceled by Matty Goldberg.
We've been canceled by, I mean, what a dumb thing to say. You can't cancel yourself. if you were canceled, you wouldn't have a job. John Gruden got fired. They took in Tampa Bay, they took him out of the Ring of Honor. That's being canceled. Fucking moron.
All right. Well, speaking of being canceled, I found the actual worst football watch party in the world over the weekend.
Boy.
So this guy,
oh yeah, I heard about it.
So some people went to go watch the Chiefs game. Like 3 dudes went to another guy's house to watch the Chiefs game, and later on that night, the next day, people are realizing, hey, I haven't heard back from my boyfriend or my friends here, and so they went over to this guy's house to look, and they have to basically break in this guy's basement, and they see like 3 dead bodies between the porch and the backyard.
Yeah.
And then the cops come, and the guy whose house it was just answers the door drinking wine in his boxer shorts.
Weird.
He's got 3 fucking dead bodies in the backyard.
What the fuck?
Can I
say, Jim, you've had some wild nights. Have you ever had a party like that?
I've never had a dead body party.
And the weird thing is they haven't found any immediate signs of foul play either.
Well, I would have to say allegedly. I don't want to say anything bad, but it sounds like maybe fentanyl overdose. Like they all did some bad coke or something.
I mean, I could totally see that. You wouldn't want to call the cops because you're doing illegal shit to begin with, and then like everybody's overdosing on fentanyl. But also, though, the weird thing is they end up in a few people are in the backyard. You're not going to be in the snow snorting snow.
What if they were like fucked up and they needed air and they ran outside or something? I don't know like how a fentanyl overdose works.
Apparently the guy said that they froze to death.
Right, but that just doesn't
yeah, that just doesn't add up.
What if they just got so shit-faced, and then these guys go outside. They're playing. Let's go play hide and seek.
They locked themselves outside.
Yeah,
I can say maybe one guy got made really drunk and froze to death, but 3 guys couldn't find their way inside from even like. I mean, this is not The Sopranos. We're in the woods. This is
like the Virgin Suicides. Like yes. I don't.
This is a very bleak, bizarre one.
I know. I can't wait to find some answers on this thing because nothing makes sense. At first
do you
reporting,
think maybe it was fentanyl, or do you think doesn't make sense?
I think on some level it does, as far as to not contacting any authorities as to why you have dead bodies.
Sure. And there's no like stabbing or gunshots or anything like that.
Right. There's none of that. So definitely, it sounds like some sort of poisonous thing happened to these guys.
Yeah. And then you might have been scared to tell the cops because
right. And so you're just pounding wine, trying to figure out what to do. That's like after Chris Benoit murdered his whole family, hung out for a while there, not knowing what he was going to do.
Yeah. Weird story.
Yeah, very sad and very mysterious. And so,
maybe Pat McAfee will figure it out.
I'm sure he's on the case.
What do you think he would say about this thing,
man? We could have a lot of things here, but wow, what a fucking party when 3 guys fucking die. That's a fucking rager. Like
if he did say that, I'd kind of respect him, Matt. If he said that.
Would. That actually would be saying something fucking funny.
Look, the game was that good. They kicked the fish's ass. It could cause a death. You never know. I don't know.
Died happy.
Yeah.
T1 playoff game.
We got a great fucking show for you.
Holy fucking Jim, you want to talk about some UFL right now?
So they did their second rosters. Draft this week.
Yeah.
So there's still free agency going on. I think the rosters are going to be at 70 and then shrink down to 50, 55 for the actual season.
Yes.
I'm excited. There's a couple names for people that know spring football that are getting in, like Case Cookus, my favorite quarterback in all of these leagues.
Michigan State guy.
Yeah. Memphis show, but no, he's not. He was Northern Arizona.
Oh my bad.
Oh, well,
I think you were thinking Connor Cook.
Yeah, Connor Cook. Yeah.
I mean, but same football program, essentially.
Basically. It's so we don't know. So guys like Tamu are still shuffling around the NFL. Don't know what's going to happen with them.
Wow. Okay.
They're always like a staple of this stuff. Vinny Papale is in this league, the son of the legendary
Scapoli.
Yes, sir.
Invincible.
Bali.
And then I haven't done like a full deep dive on all the rosters just because there's been so much shuffling from teams that used to exist.
Yeah. Would you take in Nick Sirianni as a coach? Seems like we'll end up there soon.
So for the UFL in particular, for the coaches they've got and the coaches they got rid of, I like what they've did.
Yeah.
Uncle Rico's favorite coach is his team now is the San Antonio Brahmas because they got Wade Phillips.
You know, his spot. Where I used to live, his daughter, not his daughter. His daughter lives right on that street where my sister lives.
Wait, who's Wade
Phillips?
Oh, that's daughter. Right. Yeah.
She's you ever see her? She was in all the time. She was in a My Chemical Romance video.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Willie Henry from Michigan, just for Luke. I'll just lay him off the Michigan guys.
All right.
Jarrett Horst. No, that's Michigan State. My bad. There's a lot of Michigan State guys on here. I'll tell you that. I'm glad. So they got Quentin Dormady. He was on the Orlando Guardians. I was worried he wasn't going to get picked up because he showed a lot of promise at the end of the last XFL season. I'm glad he got a spot.
This is exciting. I'll be excited in March, though.
You better be excited. March 30th is start date.
Soon.
March 30th.
It's 2 months away.
Training camp starts this week.
Jim, are you not going to change your underwear until the start of the season?
Ooh, that might be it. Or I might not change my underwear once the season starts.
That might be a better.
Smart to do it towards the end of March Madness, though. You don't want to compete against like the first few rounds.
I'm waiting for. I hope in like this week or next week they release the schedule. That's what I'm waiting on right now. I'm just waiting on the schedule.
They play their games on Mondays and Tuesdays during March Madness.
I mean, they're only there for what, like the last 2 or 3 weeks of March Madness.
Yeah.
It's March 30th, and then it's just
okay.
Yeah, they're not starting until March 30th, so I think they'll be fine.
There's a lot less games at that point. Maddie,
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well,
are you excited about the Jared Mayo hiring?
You know, I think it'll be like an Antonio Pierce thing where if he has good coordinators and they're going to play hard, and I like it, it's going to be night and day with Belichick because the players are going to love playing for him, and I love it. And I don't know what the success is because they are a lot of players away, but I know like a quarterback, it's going to be a lot easier place to play than, dealing with the icy Bill Belichick, So it will be that. And they're just, unfortunately, they have the least amount of talent in the AFC. It's all about drafting. Like they've drafted like shit the last few years. They can't figure out a wide receiver. They can't draft. They're just not good drafting the last few years. So that's going to help, but they will play hard. Just like Antonio Pierce, the Raiders played absolutely hard.
Wow. Well, we'll see.
We shall see.
It seems like such a weird hire after after Belichick. You seem like they'd be going for someone an established guy.
That's the problem. It's like who wants that job?
Right.
Because you're it's like Alabama, like you're replacing a legend and they're judging you not on winning 1 Super Bowl but 6.
Yeah.
And it's like one bad year and it's like, well, it's a tough. We'll see.
But we had another sacrifice of Sirianni over the weekend. Jason Kelsey is retiring now.
Yeah, he had a great career, great guy, great ambassador for the game. He's smart. The tush push was stupid.
I think that's what broke him. He apparently came out like he would yell out "fuck my life" before each tush push because he was just getting crunched each time. Of course,
it's horrible. They should outlaw the play. It's not safe. Somebody's gonna get their neck paralyzed. Yeah. I agree with him.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad. He was great, and it's just another loss for the Eagles, I guess.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, he had 13 great years there. You got a ring. I mean, nothing to hang your head on.
So, did you see ESPN had all these fake Emmys?
What do you mean by fake Emmys?
Well, what happened was, so you know how there's all these categories and stuff that don't get necessarily on TV?
Yeah.
So, say it was like what they would do is they would like game day, right? They would just submit a bunch of producers who weren't
they just
on the show, like
fake names.
Like they would, do a fake name like a Lee Torso, and then when they got the statue, they would change it to Lee Corso on it, and then they would give it to Lee Corso like he won. And
I guess that's called participation.
Like all the game day guys got one, like Desmond and Kurt Herbstreit and shit like that. It
sounds like participation trophy.
Yeah, it's worse. It's a lie. It's like, what a fucking shitty thing to do to your employees. I mean, how embarrassing, especially if you ever like were proud of it or bragged about it into any degree.
Yeah. Kirk Henry, Lee Clark, Dirk Howard, Tim Richards, Stephen Ponder, Gene Wilson, Chris Fulton, and Shelley Saunders.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Kirk Henry.
Kirk Henry, yeah.
Man, that's embarrassing.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. Who cares that much about these awards?
I know, who cares about award shows? It just sounds good though, like Emmy Award winner.
Right.
Like, just show football and do some good stats and good guys and good takes. No more Pat McAfee, no more cut off sleeves.
Well, another interesting thing from ESPN is it sounds like the NFL is trying to buy a stake in ESPN.
That's wild.
It really is, and
they've become bigger than ESPN.
There's a couple things that are really bizarre with it too, especially like, well, first of all, it'd be like the Republican Party buying a part of NBC or something.
Yeah. I mean, don't they have the NFL Network?
They do, but you're buying the coverage of your product too. I find that to be very,
very shitty.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So that means like if there's any bad stories about the NFL, they're going to not be in the 24-hour news cycle at ESPN, like when the big concussion thing came out and all that. It's not good. I don't think it's good for the sport. Also, it's weird. It gives them sort of a backdoor entry into gambling too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
that's now, like the NFL being directly involved with gambling.
Yes.
Like, not just having sponsors, but like having a stake in a company that is like is
that
part of casinos
from gambling on your product. So I don't know. Maybe there's some other legal jargon in there that sort of moves them away from that part of the company. But either way, covering the product or benefiting through gambling on the product is very bizarre. I don't know. It just seems weird how they're getting away with it. It almost feels like an antitrust issue.
I'll tell you, the UFL would never do something as scrupulous as that. So,
did you guys see that video of Russell Westbrook confronting a shit talker? Why does it feel like a weekly thing with him?
He's just looking for people, I feel.
Yeah, it's like you see this video and he's like talking and like, what'd you say? Come here, say it to me. And the guy actually got up and said it to him. Of course, this guy's like, 5'5". And, built like a bowl, basketball.
He's an angry guy.
Right. And then the guy didn't say anything too egregious. And then he went back to his seat. Westbrook's back to practicing and looking at the guy and staring. And it's just like, bro, you're getting paid $1 million just to be on the floor right now. Why do you give a shit what this guy says?
He is an angry guy.
He gets rattled too easily.
He does.
It's very bizarre because it's very few people have that problem. And it seems like athletes just are very good. The pro athletes are good at tuning out the distractions and just focusing on the shit. I don't know.
He ate the one.
And other news, I saw the Pirates have signed an outfielder named Iverson Allen.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that great? How are you even going to fucking search for that guy?
Did you guys see that? What was that high school player that McAfee was super talking about?
What?
For basketball or football?
I think it was football. I'll tell you guys after the show.
All right. All right. Well, that's all I got for today, guys. Is there anything we skipped over? Or
we'll be ready for next Saturday and Sunday. 4 more great games. Can't wait. Go Detroit.
I'm really excited for the divisional round. I think all the games should be really good.
Don't count out Houston or what's the other team? Green Bay. They have a shot, man.
I'm definitely looking forward to much more forward to
peaking.
that game than I was.
Yeah. Don't count those guys out.
I kind of feel this is a boom or bust year for the 49ers. It feels like they've been knocking on the door for about 5 years now.
Well, they're kind of like some of their.
Well, same with the Ravens.
Some of their important
Ravens
players are getting old
but
too.
I feel like the Ravens can do it. 49ers got to prove me. But I guess Lamar's got to prove me too. So, all right, we'll see. All right, we'll talk about all that and more next week on another edition of the Sports Hall. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks, boys.
See you soon.
Later.
Bye-bye.